this is mainly for Russian, for the benefit of Russian DV 2021 selectees. So every answer that we give will translate into Russian. You want to say that in Russian?
Yes.
You know?
Этот live видео on Facebook будет переведен на русский, специально он для тех, кто говорит и понимает по-русски. Спасибо.
Great. So I'm looking forward in the comments for questions that I can answer in English, and Christina can answer in English and Russian, whichever. So do we have questions yet?
What about those who received their visa and expedited before September 2020 and whose embassies refused to review?
Okay, you will need to wait until, first of all, you're not alone. There's other people in that situation. It's unclear whether or not you will have relief in the future, but you will need to wait until after Judge Mehta's final judgment to see if he carves out special relief for your situation. Right now, you don't have anything you can do.
So, the question, вопрос был о том, если бы для тех, кто получил визы в 2020 году, в 2020 DV, и просто кто не успел получить визы, это мы отвечаем, что это будет зависеть только от решения судьи Мехта, и только после принятия, после его решения мы сможем ответить, если вы сможете получить визу или нет. Comments received mail. There is another question. I am a DV 2020 winner and I haven't received the documents mail. Is there still a hope for me after Mehta decision? So вопрос, если вы, вопрос о том, если 20, как Selectee 2020 DV, вы сможете получить визу если после решения судьи Мехта, если ваши документы еще не проверены в KCC. So the question is, Curtis, whether they have a hope to get a visa after Judge Mehta's decision, even if their case is still at KCC. So
my opinion is yes, but you'll have to wait and see. We can't predict the future.
Correct. So мы не можем сказать, получите вы визу, но мы должны подождать и посмотреть, какое будет решение судьи Мехта.
I think somebody says, is this going to be alive for Russians only? The focus is for our Russian DV 2021 selectees, but we will answer also the question in English. So if you don't mind listening also to Russian, maybe you can learn some Russian.
Okay, so в основном это видео будет для русскоговорящих, кто выиграл DV 2021, но если вы не хотите послушать русский перевод и поучиться немножко русскому, вы можете посмотреть это видео тоже. So there are questions in Russian. Just a second, my scanner will. Just a second. Number one, can you please remind Judge Mehta about us Kennedy plaintiff? So they are.
I have an answer for that.
Go ahead.
Okay, so we don't need to remind Judge Mehta about a pending case. We're probably working on that case, and that's what. The last thing we would want to do would be interrupt him while he's working. We want the best decision, not the quickest decision. Also, the quickest decision would not be good for you if you are at the majority of posts right now. A decision right now would benefit most the few embassy, the people that are at the few embassies that are open for full routine services. That's who that would benefit the most. If you're at Moscow, you don't want a quick decision.
So, вопрос был, чтобы напомнить Judge Mehdi о его о кейсе, который pending. So, Куртис говорит, что не нужно напоминать Mehdi о том, что у нас есть кейс, большой кейс pending right now in his courtroom, в его производстве. И сейчас вам на данный момент вам даже не выгодно, чтобы он вынес решение, потому что многие посольства закрыты, и это будет не в угоду вам, чтобы решение было выдано на данном этапе. Потому что, как вы знаете, Москва, посольство в Москве не будет работать, то есть многие, Анкара тоже, посольство в Анкаре тоже не работает. То есть это мы думаем, что лучше, чтобы решение было бы попозже. Okay, let's go to Russian questions, Curtis. Or do you have a IMDb winner and haven't received the documents, received mail? Is there still a hope for me after Mehta's decision? So we answer to that question because we still think there is a hope. Мы думаем, что у вас есть еще шанс, но мы не знаем, не можем предсказать будущее. DV 2021, I haven't received second. I joined your lawsuit. No response so far. Please advise. Motangi. Okay. First of all, it's not current yet, correct? When the NVC, the KCC is not processing 28 case in month of May. It will be current in June, correct, Curtis?
I think that's accurate, but you can participate in the DV 2021 lawsuit that we are offering, no matter what your number is, because all numbers will be current by July.
Right. So I will translate it in Russian. So вопрос был в том, что если он выиграл 2021 DV и его номер 28 тысяч, где-то в 28 тысячах, и он не получил второе интервью, но он присоединился к нашему кейсу, иску. Но у него еще нету никаких ответов из KCC. So, ответ наш, да, в первую очередь 28 тысяч еще не актуальны, не текущие на данном этапе в мае. Они будут текущими в июне, в июле, по всей вероятности. И но вы можете присоединиться к нашему иску, даже если ваши визы не текущие на данный момент.
Okay. Let's focus on DV 2021 questions, actually, if there are any.
Can you please remind Judge Mehta when we answer that? Maya, let me read the question in Russian. Мои сканы были проверены в сентябре, кейс 1K. Я переношу свое дело в Грузию, так как мое дело не продвигается правильно. So the question is that he is a selectee and his all documents were completed in September, and his numbers are within 1,000K. So he is trying to transfer case in Georgia. So the question is whether he is correct in transferring. So I think he is correct, because if initially his case was assigned to Moscow, there we know that the Moscow embassy will suspend all its consular. They will suspend almost all their processing, correct, Curtis? Moscow.
Yeah, they're doing interviews. So
except U.S. citizens services.
I don't even think that.
They will.
I think those are limited. And also you should point out that in March almost half of all the ones they issued, of all the immigrant visas they issued in March, were our clients, because they were young plaintiffs. So if anyone does get issued a visa from Moscow, it's going to be because they're named plaintiffs and they're benefiting from a judge's order. But I think that the Moscow consulate is understaffed and not equipped right now to be the path. So if they can go to a different path, I agree with you, Georgia. That's great.
Another option, да. So, да, вы правильно делаете, потому что в Москве мы не думаем, что они даже будут какие-то действия даже будут открыты для граждан США, какие-то консульские, представлять какие-то консульские услуги для граждан США. So, мы не думаем, что мы думаем, что вернее будет перевести кейс в другую страну, в этом случае в Грузию. So let's do another question. You go ahead. Next one is, what about the beginning of interviews and appointments at Sudan Khartoum Embassy? Do you know any about Sudan?
Sudan. No, I don't know anything about that consulate specifically, but if your DV is a DV 2021, right?
Assuming, yeah.
Participate in our litigation, and that will improve your chances. And that's independent of the case number. This is probably something important to translate. People come to me with their case number and say, well, I benefit. What litigation does is it adds to the probability that you will have success. It's going to add to it whether you have a low case number or a high case number. It will not erase what your case number is, but it will add value. It will add the likelihood that you have success.
So, Куртис отвечает, что да, если мы сейчас не можем сказать, мы точно не знаем что посольство в Судане работает или нет, но в любом случае вы можете подать иск, потому что вы имеете больше шансов получить интервью и получить ваши визы, если вы будете в списках истцов. So, and one more question, I forgot to translate your part, the part that you talk about Moscow Embassy issuing visa for young plaintiffs. So, в Москве в марте посольство выдало, большинство виз было выдано из нашего иска в Янге. В основном только по решению суда посольство выдавало визы и приглашало на интервью. В остальных случаях посольство было закрыто для всех остальных в Москве конкретно. So let's do another one. Curtis, go ahead.
Okay. I'm a winner of DV 2021. I submitted a DS 260. Silence. What do you do? What is going to be done on your side? You are not alone. KCC only has approved documents for 11,000 selectees. We're sure that 3 or 4 times that have submitted their documents, but KCC has only approved for 11,000 so far. What to do is to join our next lawsuit. You can't expect a bad actor, which is the State Department, to take positive actions on their own. But if you ask a court to intervene, then you could benefit from the court ordering them to do it.
So Куртис отвечает, что на этот вопрос, что в любом случае вы выиграете. Curtis, the question, I'm sorry, I cannot find that question you are referring to.
Oh, so you weren't listening to me, Christine?
Oh, I am listening to you. I listen to your
okay. Okay, so basically he's in this situation that is a DV 2021 winner. He's in the situation that most of them are in, where he submitted documents to KCC and then KCC ignores him. And the question is what to do. And the answer, from my perspective, is to join a lawsuit.
Right. So, в основном вопрос был о том, что KCC не отвечает ни на какие, не выдает никакие ответы на запросы. И Куртис отвечает, что вы не одни, KCC не отвечает почти ни на какие inquiries, оно молчит. То есть, если даже вы вступите в иск, мы будем представлять вас, и вы получите пользу от того, что вы находитесь в иске, и KCC должно будет отвечать на наши запросы как адвокат. Okay, let's do another question.
Okay, do you want me to read one in English or?
Let me read the one in Russian.
Okay.
Alex, let me see. Andrei.
Sorry.
No problem. Андрей Лищиленко. Здравствуйте, мы из Jacob versus Biden. Как вы будете способствовать визы в посольстве? I turn off my phone, otherwise it will ring in my phone. So just have the phone. It's not non-stop phone calls.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, just I left. That question's gone. So he was our plaintiff in Canada. So the question was from one of our plaintiffs in Jacob, and he was asking.
I'm going to answer this guy the next time he tries to call. Anyway.
Yeah, let's move to another one. I lost that question. Добрый вечер, Алекс спрашивает. DV 2021 кейс, European Union 19 тысяч, Республика Беларусь. До сих пор не пришел запрос на сканы. Наши действия стоит переносить дело в другую страну. Okay. He's asking that he is from Belarus, and the KCC didn't request the scans. So what should they transfer the case to another embassy? Can I do you want to answer, or you want me to answer, Curtis?
You can answer. That's fine.
Okay. So ответ в том, вопрос был, лично я и Куртис, мы не думаем, что вы должны ждать до тех пор, пока вам KCC запросит сканы. Я всем рекомендую отправить сканы как можно скорее. И в этом случае KCC получит быстрее и может проверить ваши документы быстрее, чем остальным. То есть мы сейчас советуем вам отправить сканы в первую очередь. Okay, so the question was whether they have to send the documents, scan documents, even when KCC didn't ask for it. So my answer is yes. We suggesting, correct, Curtis? We're suggesting to send scans as soon as possible, even though the KCC did not ask for scans. Okay, and go.
Because they're running out of time. Right.
So
I'm trying to get the dinging from stopping from my phone, and it's that the dinging is coming from the people that are supposed to be advising me how to do it. They keep, and they think it's FaceTime, and it's actually Telegram, and anyway, technology. There you go. It's a lot of fun.
It's fun. It's okay. So let's check. Do you want to read another question? is not.
Yeah, can we join the lawsuit now? We want to secure our DV visa. Yes, onboarding for our next, well, you can't join the Jacob or the Ray case, but onboarding for our next case, our big case, ends May 31st. So you've got all month to make your decision on that.
Да, мы советуем вам присоединиться к нашему иску. Мы будем сейчас уже начали онбординг, то есть набор истцов в этот иск, и набор будет продолжаться до 31 мая. The deadline is май 31, и у вас есть почти месяц, чтобы решить, вынести ваше решение. Okay, let's go on to the next one. We got processing for TV lottery. How to do that, please? So the question is, do you suggest requesting NIE processing for TV lottery 2021? How to do that? So вопрос в том, что вопрос касается request for national interest exceptions for TV 2021. So last year we tried to request NIEs for TV 2020, correct? But none of them were granted.
Right.
So
I think NIEs is something where the government is just trying to pretend like there's an option when there's not.
Мы не считаем, что national interest exception для TV 2021 будет работать, потому что эта exception не работает для TV, мы не считаем. And мы не считаем, что это вообще будет рассмотрены, эти кейсы будут рассматриваться госдепом. One more question versus
More than one.
Yeah, more than one. We have a lot. Okay, and it's so fast I cannot even read. Как перевести кейс в другое посольство? They are asking. Vadim is asking how to transfer the case in another embassy. So, do you want to answer, or you want me to answer in English? And then translate.
My staff to stop messaging me because my computer didn't. So
I think mute this. Mute Telegram. Let me see how to mute.
Good luck. I can't figure out how to do it. So if you want to transfer your case and it's at KCC, before you contact KCC, do research to find out if you can physically arrive at the embassy that you want to transfer to, because there are border restrictions all over this earth right now. That's the first thing. The second thing is check the visa statistics, the monthly visa statistics for the last available month. Right now that would be March. The reason you do that is because if they were not issuing any visas in March at that embassy and nothing has changed, you don't want to transfer there. The third thing is go to that embassy's website, click on visas, immigrant visas, read their news and their statuses, because they will have information about whether or not they have restricted processing or not. Most of them do. And it can give you an idea if you would be in a better or worse situation by transferring to that embassy. Almost any embassy would be better than Moscow. Almost any embassy would be better than Ankara, in my opinion.
Right now, correct. And
right now.
One more question, like technical. So KCC requires address and proof that you can reside in that country legally. So in order to transfer to another, correct?
No, I was mad because of the beep. It wasn't.
It's okay. I'm so first of all, you need an address in that country so you can transfer it, and you have to present documents evidencing that you have a right to reside in that country. So let me translate that to Russian speakers. So, Кортис говорит, для того, чтобы перевести в первую очередь в другую страну, в другое посольство, в первую очередь вы должны посмотреть, ваша виза будет текущей в следующем году в этой стране, то есть по региональному виза-бюллетеню. То есть, и во вторую очередь вы должны посмотреть статистику этого посольства, если оно выдавало какие-то визы, иммиграционные визы в прошлом месяце или в текущем месяце. То есть мы не хотим, и в-третьих, вы должны make sure, вы должны посмотреть, будет ли более для вас выгодно перевести кейс в другую страну, и будет ли выгодно вам оставить в этой стране. Что я советую всем, для того, чтобы перевести кейс, в первую очередь вы должны дать KCC информацию о новом адресе и о в другой стране. Вы должны им дать адрес в этой стране, в которую вы хотите перевести, и вы должны доказать, что вы имеете право жить в этой стране. Это может быть гражданство, это может быть виза, or even выписка из МИДа, что в этой стране вы имеете право проживать без визы. So, какое-то доказательство, которое будет подтверждать, что вы имеете право проживать в этой стране, в которую вы хотите перевести, и адрес. So, let's go to the next question. So,
Actually, I see one. Can I grab one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. We are currently in the U.S., but unfortunately cannot go through adjustment of status, AOS, because our case is pending. We have to choose consular processing in case if our DV visa is secured by lawsuit. Thanks for all you're doing. Sabina, that is a very sensitive question, and we need to answer it privately. So send me or Christina an email. But your assumption, I think, might not be accurate. You can do adjustment of status if you're located in the U.S. You just may have certain burdens to prove. And there is a way to transfer it from the path of visa processing and embassy to adjustment of status. But there are burdens and things to consider that we would want to talk with you individually. And we only want to talk to individuals that are in the U.S. about that. You don't talk about adjustment of status when you're not in the U.S.
Correct. So let me translate that to Russian. So вопрос был об adjustment статуса в US. Мы должны с вами поговорить на индивидуальном уровне, in person, потому что очень много burdens, которые мы должны как адвокаты, если мы беремся за это дело, пройти для того, чтобы подтвердить, что вы имеете право получить adjustment в US. И мы можем только с вами разговаривать на эту тему, если вы уже в US. То есть, если в US, можете связаться с одним из наших адвокатов, с Кристиной, с Куртисом, с Рафаэлем, и мы вам на индивидуальном уровне уже проконсультируем, можно ли подавать АОС в вашем конкретном случае. Okay, let's do the next one.
Okay. You want me to read or you want to find one?
Yeah, go ahead. Mikhail Sandadze. I'm Jacob. Do you see me?
Go ahead.
Question. Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, it's gone.
What if I go to study in Canada in September? What will be if I enter to plaintiffs and then go to Canada? Will you win in court? Could I change the interview from Almaty to Toronto? If we represent you and we get a favorable order that we can get you scheduled, we will assist you with transferring. You could transfer yourself by contacting KCC. KCC is very cooperative with transfers when you're physically established residents at the new country. So you will be able to do that with KCC, but we would assist you with that if we represent you.
Я переведу на русский. Вопрос был, может он перевести из Алматы в Канаду, если он живет сейчас в Канаде? Да, он сам может это сделать, вы сами можете подать на трансфер, как я уже объясняла. Но если вы вступите в иски, мы будем представлять вас как адвоката в этом случае, мы от вашего имени подадим request for transfer для перевода. И мы считаем, если у вас больше шансов, если уже вы находитесь в той стране, в которой вы хотите перевести. Let's do another one. Okay. Марат. Фарход, если я вступлю в иск до решения судьи, вы можете мое дело представить в KCC, и они усмотрели и проверили мое дело. So the question was, if he joins the case before order, can we represent him? So he has to join before the order if he is DV 21. Yeah, correct?
Yes, you cannot join a lawsuit after we win the order. You can only join a lawsuit before we file the case. That means you have to enter before May the 31st.
Correct. So вы не можете войти в иск после решения судьи. Вы должны войти в иск до решения судьи для того, чтобы на вас распространялось это решение. So.
Elmira says, please save this live. Don't worry. Golnaz is saving it.
Okay.
I'm a Jacob v. Biden plaintiff. They have refused our expedite request at NVC for the Georgian consulate. Is there anything else that can be done? This is for F2A. Okay. This Facebook Live is for DV 2021, but that's a quick answer. You'll need to wait until we get leverage from a court order in the Jacob lawsuit. Okay. Jacob plaintiffs need to wait until after the May 20th hearing. Then if we get an order, we'll have leverage to get interviews scheduled. We do not have any leverage otherwise, and there's nothing that can be done.
So let me translate. So вопрос был от истца в нашем иске Джейкоб, и он спрашивал, что может ли он получить. The question was whether he can get an interview, correct? So он может ли получить интервью по семейному вопросу? В первую очередь, this Facebook Live is about DV 2021. It's not about family, but Куртис ответил, что мы должны дождаться решения судьи Чена по Джейкобу, он после 20 мая, и после этого только мы сможем потребовать от государства Госдепа, чтобы по решению суда вам назначили интервью. Okay, so let's go to another one. There is something in...
I saw that the person in Canada that said, thank you, I'm not in Canada yet, but I'll be there in September. I have a study permit. How is it risky to go there after the result of the court? I don't understand the risky part. I don't understand that, actually. You're speculating about something that hasn't happened yet. We have to file the lawsuit on June 6th. We probably won't get a hearing on our motion for preliminary injunction until July. What is happening in July and August and September is far away, so it's difficult for us to predict how things will happen with that.
So вопрос был от того же человека, который спрашивал о переносе исков из Алматы в Торонто. И он написал, что он может быть в Канаде в сентябре. So мы не можем на данном этапе сказать, что будет в июле, в августе, в сентябре. Но и это будет зависеть от многих факторов, то мы, тем более, что он будет, не можем предсказывать будущее, мы не можем сказать, как будет вопрос решаться в сентябре. And one more question, Curtis. This is about transferring, correct, from Almaty to Toronto, and it's about future. That I'm getting a lot of questions. Let's say if they want to transfer from they're gonna be in, let's say, in Georgia in July. So can we request transfer right now? So
My answer is yes, you can try, but it won't get accepted until you're there, probably.
So we suggest you be physically in that country and then request transfer, because you have better chances. Yes, we can try to transfer if you have an address or resident permit in some other country, and then they might grant it. But you have better chances if you are already in that country and you can show that you are a resident in that country. So let me translate that. Мы предполагаем, что лучше вы можете потребовать трансфер, когда вы еще не находитесь в этой стране. Вы можете представить адрес или proof evidence, доказательства вашего гражданства или residence, но у вас есть больше шансов получить transfer granted, если вы уже живете в этой стране. So, поэтому, да, вы можете подать, но у вас больше шансов получить, если вы уже в этой стране и можете подтвердить это. So let's go to another question.
I have one that I really want to answer. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. May it happen so that, Hagin asked, may it happen so that the participation in the lawsuit impedes the regular process of receiving invitation to interview? I mean, if I'm appointed for an interview, regardless of this filed lawsuit, will it create any problems for my visa issuance? The answer to that is no. The State Department does not retaliate against people for participating in litigation. The reason many of you want to come to the USA is because we have a government with 3 branches, and one of them is the court, and the court is an equal branch of government, and you can go to the court with your dispute, even if the dispute is with President Biden. These branches of government hold each other accountable, and that's part of America, and they're not going to come back at you and retaliate against you for participating in a lawsuit.
So, это Куртис ответил на вопрос, может ли присоединение к суду каким-то образом повлиять на решение Госдепартамента о выдаче визы или в последующее. So, Куртис объяснил, что в Америке действуют 3 органа: исполнительная власть, судебная и законодательная. Они друг друга балансируют и контролируют. It's called checks and balances. And если вы обращаетесь к судебной власти по решению, по тому, как исполнительная власть и в иске против исполнительной власти, в этом случае президента Байдена, по закону Америки это вы имеете право, и это не будет рассматриваться против вас. Вы имеете право требовать решения суда, потому как исполнительная власть не следует букве закона. So that's what my.
It's a lot of work to say things in English and Russian.
Correct. It's a lot. So, здравствуйте, как быть из сам Джейкоба, если страна интервью Москва с 12 мая Москва не принимает? So she is a plaintiff in our Jacob, and she's saying about family petitions, and they are will be scheduled in Moscow, and Moscow will be closed. So the best probably solution, Curtis, I think, will be to transfer if they have a chance. If they have.
Well, look what happened in Young in March, though. Remember? Well, it happened when we got the Young order in December. Moscow was closed, but they still scheduled our Young plaintiffs for interviews. So let's wait until we get an order, and then we'll deal with that. Also, I think it's important to realize that if you're at Moscow, wanting a quick order is really not in your interest. Whether this is for DV 2020 or 21 or family-based, the order works best in tandem if there's no barriers other than the State Department's unlawful no visa policy. So if you have other barriers, we're trying to time this perfectly for as many people as possible. Does that make sense?
Наш ответ, что мы должны в любом случае дождаться решения суда, и мы не считаем, что скорейшее решение суда в ваших интересах по Москве, потому что в Москве, хотя у нас в декабре, когда решение суда по делу Янга было вынесено, мы получили визы в марте, в апреле для всех наших истцов из России. То есть их вызвали на интервью, и тогда как в декабре, когда мы подавали иск, Москва, посольство было закрыто. То есть они должны были по решению суда назначить интервью и adjudicate cases, и выдать, то есть рассмотреть дело в марте, в апреле по решению судья Чен. So, поэтому мы считаем, что у вас больше шансов получить решение после получить какое-то решение после ордера Джаджа Чена по Джакобу. То есть, let's go to another question. Yeah.
Okay, I want to clarify something. I don't have control over the time schedule of when a judge issues his order. I want to make sure that everybody understands that. We are not the pulling puppet strings on the judges. They make their orders when they're done. That's when judges make their orders. We don't control that.
Мы не можем контролировать решения судей. Мы не можем их сказать, когда они вынесут какое-то решение. Это зависит от судьи и как он решит, и когда он будет готов принять свое решение. So there was another question about DV 2020 decision by Mehta. So in Russian. So that's the same answer for that question.
That's actually the question I was answering there by accident. Yes, the meta decision, we don't have control over when it happens, but if you're in Moscow, it's better for you if it happens later.
То мы не имеем возможности контролировать, когда Мехта вынесет решение, и поэтому в данном случае вашем, если ваш кейс в Москве, лучше будет, если решение будет вынесено попозже. Мой кейс 9К, интервью буду проходить в Тбилиси. Скажите, как у меня шансы? He is asking, he is 9K DV 2021, I'm assuming, and he will be his interview is scheduled in Blvd. They see what his chances are. So
how would we calculate that, Christina?
I have no idea.
Did you take calculus? Did you take calculus in high school?
Yes.
I think maybe if we took calculus, we would be able to calculate that. But
if I think we took calculus, we couldn't calculate that because no one knows.
Yeah, and the reason is there's so many factors, and we don't have we have control over some. If we take your case to court, there's a good chance a judge will weigh in on it and help with relief. But we don't know which judge. We don't know what that relief will be. We don't know what's going to happen out in the world with war and climate change and borders, and there's too many factors for us to give you a number.
So мы не можем ответить на этот вопрос, потому что невозможно вычислить эти факты, но числа, которые будут проходить в Тбилиси. Это очень много факторов будет для того, чтобы вычислить вот этот possibility, возможность вашего интервью. Даже если у вас 9000 кейс и посольство в Тбилиси более или менее работает. So, если вы вступите в иск, у вас будет больше шансов, и мы сможем хотя бы иметь решение судья, который будет контролировать этот вопрос. So, мы не можем ответить, какие у вас шансы на данном этапе. Go ahead, Curtis.
Okay.
Сюда.
There's lots of questions that I don't understand the question because I don't know if you're talking about onboarding to our lawsuit or sending your documents to KCC. The more information you put in your question, like your visa category and who you're talking about submitting documents to, the better we can understand what you're answering, what you're asking. Okay. Someone said, when you say it's not in best interest to have a quick court decision, and that's the whole question. The reason is that this was supposed to be about DV 2021. This Facebook Live has been hijacked. For DV 2020, the reason it's maybe not in the best interest of Moscow DV selectees to have a quick decision is because there are only 9,095 visas. If those are issued to embassies that are open when your embassy is closed, that's not good for you. I'm just speculating about that possibility because I'm hearing a lot of people saying, we want a decision now, we want a decision now. And I'm just wanting you to think, do you really want a decision right now? If your embassy's not open and other embassies are giving out those 9,000 visas and those 9,000 visas disappear, well, think about that. You would be left out in the cold. So just relax. It happens when it happens. We don't want to rush a judge. I'm sorry, you got to have a lot.
So, мы думаем, что лучше для того, чтобы judge мягко вынес решение попозже, потому что вам лучше будет, если вынесет попозже, когда у вас посольства будут работать. Многие посольства сейчас закрыты, как Москва и Анкара. So, какой имеет значение будет иметь, если judge вынесет решение, а посольство закрыто. So, это не имеет никакого, у вас больше шансов будет, если посольства будут открыты. So, поэтому мы не хотим решения мягкое, быстрое решение, более. Okay, so there was a question in Russian. Денис, почему KCC проверяет документы только Казахстана, а остальные страны в большинстве нет? So he's asking why KCC is checking only documents from Kazakhstan. This is the embassy in Almaty, and not for other countries.
I don't think that's accurate. Do you?
But let's say even let's assume that it's correct because all embassies in Almaty is fully operational. So if you check the embassy website, U.S. embassy website is in Almaty. It's one of the embassies that fully operational. So they don't have any restrictions. So KCC is transferring to embassy when embassy has a capacity. So if embassy does not have a capacity or not operational, KCC cannot transfer that case to that embassy. So are you agree, Curtis?
Yeah, I didn't realize that Almaty was fully operational.
Well, it was one of the embassies on that Department of State informed us that it's
right.
Vietnam.
Good to know.
Yeah. So let me translate to Russian. В Казахстане это зависит от посольства. KCC не может передать дело в посольство, если это посольство закрыто. То есть, так как посольство в Алмате fully operational в соответствии с их веб-сайтом. Оно имеет возможность рассматривать дела и открыто для рассмотрения дел, поэтому KCC может перевести дела в посольство. В тех случаях, когда посольство закрыто, KCC не может передать дело, если посольство не работает и не имеет capacity, возможности рассмотреть дела. Поэтому в Казахстане более или менее рассматривают DV cases. Okay, let's do another one.
Christina, I cannot believe I didn't know that. that Almaty had restored routine visa operations. That happened in December, and I just now realized it. That's crazy.
I knew about it because I was suggesting people from Russia to transfer to Almaty because it's fully operational. So Curtis не знал, что Алмата работает в полную мощность, но я знала, потому что я советую многим русским, которые в Москве, у которых интервью будет в Москве, перевести кейс в Алматы, если у них эта возможность есть. So let's do another question.
I got one. Eugenia asked, can DV21 winners from Russia transfer to Mongolian embassy due to the processing pause? You didn't give us enough information. We need to know if your file is at Moscow or if it's at KCC. If it's at KCC, it just takes an email to find out. A short email, 1 to 2 sentences, to KCC, and they'll answer in 14 days.
Okay, so вам нужно, если вы не знаете, где ваш кейс, в Москве или в KCC. I'm assuming the case is at KCC because no DV case is transferred to Moscow. So мы думаем, что этот кейс в Москве, в KCC, потому что ни один кейс из KCC не был переведен в Москву. И мы думаем, что лучше будет, естественно, перевести в Монголию, если может. Я, честно говоря, не смотрела в Монголии как capacity, возможность посольства. Но если у вас есть residence permit, если у вас есть гражданство или адрес Монголии, где вы можете проживать и вы можете ехать или живете в этой стране, у вас больше шансов перевести в Монголию. Да. So let's do another one.
That was actually maybe a good point, though, because I'm looking at the Mongolia website and it just says that non-immigrant visas are suspended. So apparently they are issuing immigrant visas. So that's a good tip, Mongolia.
Куртис посмотрел сейчас веб-сайт посольства в Монголии, и там говорится, что они выдают визы, иммиграционные визы, так что у вас больше будет шансов перевести, получить визу в Монголии, чем в Москве. Мы получили, let me do Russian one. Мы получили запрос на сканы, отправили все документы, получили подтверждение от проверки, ждем собеседования. Теперь посольство в Москве остановило свою работу. Какие варианты развития событий возможны? So she's asking that there are cases at KCC, all the documents are checked, and but they are scheduled in Moscow, but the embassy in Moscow is closed. So what's their options? I think one of the options is transfer. First one is to join the lawsuit, first of all, because even if it's closed, we can still have some
leverage. We hope to get leverage from Europe.
Yeah, something from the court. And then the second option is transfer. So there is no other option, I don't think. Do you think there is another option? Not right now for Moscow.
Participating in a lawsuit gives you leverage. So do you know the leverage word in Russian? I don't know that one word.
Google it. I am not sure. Leverage, больше возможностей, leverage, probably. Let me Google Translate. I am not sure how. Just a second.
Использовать.
Использовать возможность. Спасибо. Да, использовать leverage. It's возможность, да. So it's you have more possibilities, correct? Like, so возможностей, у вас будет больше возможностей. So course is referring to leverage as возможности получить визу, если вы будете в одном из исков. Let's do another question.
Okay. We got great questions coming. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, so Sabina is asking, thanks for your answer. Please let me know how I can book a consultation with Mr. Morrison to discuss our case. So she wants in-person consultation with you. Do you?
Yeah, just good luck. It's difficult to get me on the phone, but send me an email, send me a private message. Maybe you'll get a hold of one of the team members that can get you in front of me. That's why our onboarding for our next case, this is important. Onboarding for the next case is automated. We don't do that with you over the phone. You need to do that yourself. But if you have a problem, you can come to me or one of our team members, and we will, well, probably not me, but you can come to one of our team members with your question.
So он говорит, что у вас, он желает вам удачи, потому что это очень сложно с ним индивидуально получить консультацию, но вы можете обратиться к другим членам группы, которые или адвокатам, которые ответят на ваши, смогут ответить на ваши вопросы, и если у вас будут дальнейшие вопросы, они уже передадут мне. So Curtis, I'm getting a lot of questions like saying like if they wanna like consultation like one-on-one consultation with one of us.
Right.
So are we providing those kind of services? We are answering on our text messages and phone calls.
Yeah, technically I do maybe 100 or 200 consultations a day via Telegram, WhatsApp, Twitter messages, emails. If you want a phone call, that's going to be difficult because phone call consultation takes 30 to 40 minutes. If I did those, I'd only do 10 a day. So if you can articulate your question and type it, I can get your answer to you, in your circumstances, in your situation. But if you need a phone call, that's something that I'm probably, it's going to be a challenge. It's possible, but we've only got a month before May 31st when this lawsuit is closed. So hopefully between now and then, you'll be able to get a hold of me. I have maybe 100 missed calls a day though. So it's difficult to do a consult on the phone with me. Christina is much more accessible.
I'm trying, Curtis. I have tons of text messages and emails a day, hundreds, and I'm trying to answer phone calls, and I'm trying to schedule phone call consultations.
Really? Good for you.
Yeah. So Curtis говорит, что but the best way to reach us if they have a specific like individual question is to email us, correct, Curtis?
If they
explain the question in email.
If their strongest language is Russian, their best way is to contact you or Gomez. I'm not saying her name right. I'm sorry. To contact
Gomez.
Right. Okay. And her contact is on the page.
On the page.
Yeah, and so is yours. Right.
Several Russian speakers on our team. It's Heavy, Gulnaz, me. So you can, three of us, yeah, me, and Gulnaz. So you can email, text us, and we will answer in Russian. So let me translate it to Russian. У нас, если у вас есть специфический вопрос по вашему конкретному делу, лучше нам не звонить, а написать на email. Хотя если у вас не хороший английский, вы можете написать на русском. И у нас 3 работника, которые ответят вам на русском. Гурназ, вашему конкретному делу лучше нас не нанял. Хотя если у вас... So it's gonna be me, Татевик и Гульнас, которые ответят вам на русском. Хотя one note, when I emailing, I have a capacity, I have a possibility to type in Russian, but when I'm on the phone, so if you text me on the phone, I am sorry, my phone doesn't have a Russian phone, so I cannot type in Russian. It's just technology. I can download, but it will be very slow for me. So it's just a note. When someone texting me in Russian, you can continue in Russian. I just cannot type in Russian. But if you email me, I will try to translate. So let me translate that in Russian. So, если вы нам пишете на русском, мне Татевик или Гульнас, мы вам ответим на русском. Просто у меня на телефоне нет русского фонта, я не могу typать, и это будет просто технологически. When someone texting me in Russian, you can continue in Russian. Мне Татевик или Гульнас, мы вам ответим. Sorry, there is a recording on my phone. I don't understand what's going on.
Sorry, that was...
Yeah. Что я хотела сказать, если вам сложно читать на английском, just email us на русском лучше, и мы ответим на кириллице, ответим. У меня есть возможность отвечать на имейлы на кириллице, но по text messages я не могу отвечать, потому что у меня просто технология не позволяет. Anyway, let's move forward.
Well, someone named Mikas Abera that is very upset with us, but it's about DV 2020. And I want to say, Mikas, DV 2020, I don't know how you could be upset with us when you don't have an order yet. You don't know what the decision is going to be. You don't know what's going to happen. So until the judge issues his order, I don't think you can really be angry with us. That does not make any sense. Like Judge Meadow will make his order when he makes it. And then if it's not, if it's adverse to you, then you can be angry. But being angry before you know the result of the lawsuit makes no sense.
Okay, so let me translate. Да, это один из вопросов был насчет решения по DV 2020, по DV 20, и он был разочарован в нас, потому что пока еще решение не принято. Мы просим, мы не можем, мы просим просто не быть angry, потому что мы не можем контролировать решение судьи. Когда решение выйдет, тогда уже мы сможем хотя бы ответить по соответствии с этим решением уже продвигаться и помогать нашим местам. So there is a question in Russian. Yes, if they are assigned to Moscow, Russian speaker, Russian citizens, and they don't have any other place to transfer, how they can they benefit from the court order?
Great question, and you have to wait and see. I mean, the conditions on the ground will be different from today to whenever a court order comes. And the State Department may be willing to and may be capable of accommodating people at the embassy that day. We don't know. That's going to be a different time in the future, so we can't predict that now. We know that you can't benefit from the court order from the new lawsuit if you're not on the new lawsuit.
Okay, so да, мы ожидаем, что судья может выдать решение, по которому он обязует Госдепартамент перевести кейсы, даже если у вас нет основания. By the way, last year we had an order by Judge Mehta, and embassies were transferring regardless of nationality and residence. So в прошлом когда по DV 2020 было вынесено решение Judge он обязал Госдеп переводить в другие страны без, даже если у вас не было никаких residency статуса или права проживания или гражданства в этой стране. For instance, we were transferring from Tbilisi to Belgrade, from Almaty to Abu Dhabi. So it was like regardless of any resident status or citizenship, we were transferring because of the capacity of the embassies. So that was the order of Judge Mehta, and we transferred like everywhere we were able to transfer. So let me translate that to Russian. So в прошлом году у нас был, когда решение судья Мехта, он обязал Госдеп переводить кейсы, где посольства были открыты. So мы переводили из Тбилиси в Белград, из Алматы в Абу-Даби, то есть где возможность была получить визы, вне зависимости от того, у вас было гражданство или residence. Мы надеемся, в этом году тоже будет такое же решение. So, let's do the next one.
Actually, I saw one that interested me, and now I can't find it. Oh yeah. It's a Jacob plaintiff. It's not about DV 2021. It's a Jacob family plaintiff, and they say, can I change my country for an interview? I should contact you. You should contact the paralegal that is assigned to you. All of our paralegals, all of our Jacob plaintiffs, DV, our family, have received an email, our contact, from one of our paralegals who is assisting and supervising your file. That's your point of contact for consular processing on your individual file. If you have a question about the litigation, bring that to me. But if your question is about, or if it's complex about consular processing, bring it to Christina. But if it's procedural, take that to the paralegal that's handling your file.
So let me translate. So этот вопрос был насчет Jacob plaintiffs, которые у нас есть в кейсе Джейкоба. У нас больше 1000 семей в этом кейсе. И если у вас есть какой-то процедурный вопрос, вы можете обратиться к паралегалу, к нашим помощникам, которые assign, то есть они занимаются вашим делом, и вы получили email.
Take that to the paralegal that's handling your file.
Sorry. So it's процедурные вопросы, procedural question. Если это вопрос касается litigation, то есть судебного, законодательного или легального вопроса о законодательстве и basis for the claim, тогда обращайтесь к Куртису. Если это вопрос, который специфический к вашему кейсу по консульским вопросам, то обращайтесь ко мне, Кристине. So, у нас разделение по нашим, у нас приоритеты Куртис, Рафаэль занимаются. I'm just saying like that Curtis and Raphael are dealing with litigation issues. Mostly me and are dealing with consular processing issues, and paralegals are handling procedural issues and all other questions. So you have whom to contact. So можете, если у вас вопрос процедурный, обращайтесь с паралегалом. Если это regarding consular processing, обращайтесь ко мне. Если это по litigation issue, тогда уже к Куртису или Рафаэлу.
Okay, I see where Norello has two questions. One's about DV 2021 and one's about DV, well, I think they're both about DV 2021, but for some reason he brings up Judge Mehta, who we don't even know if he's going to be involved with DV 2021 yet. So let's do the questions one at a time. The first one, After joining your mandamus lawsuit this month, what score can you give from 1 to 10 that we will be invited to an interview or transfer to another embassy? I'm not going to give a score, okay? I'm not. If that's if you have to have somebody that can predict the future be your attorney, you need to hire someone else, because I don't have a crystal ball. All I know is that me and my team will do everything we can to improve your chances. You want to translate? So
yes, I will translate. So вопрос был какие шансы с 1 по 10-бальной шкале, что мы будем вызваны на интервью и получим визу, если мы присоединимся к иску. So ответ Куртиса, что он не может дать никакие гарантии и скоры по этому вопросу, потому что потому что because we cannot score the thing. I'm sorry, I lost my.
Okay, he wants up from 1 to 10.
Yeah. So
and I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not a witch.
Okay. So он говорит, я не гадалка и не гадаешь, или я не могу, у меня нет кристаллического шара, чтобы гадать, я не могу выдать вам какую-то цифру на данном этапе. So мы делаем просто все возможное для того, чтобы вам вынести решение суда до 30 сентября и хотя бы зарезервировать ваши визы для следующего года. I'm just saying, like we are trying to get some kind of possibility for them to get a visa. We are doing our best. Right. And then we might even have a decision to reserve visas if the embassy will not be operational, let's say in Moscow, correct? We right. Last year the judge reserved 9,000 visas, and this year we might get some visas.
Yeah,
if we didn't get any.
It's premature to push that issue right now, but that will be the issue we push in September if 55,000 visas haven't been issued. Well, if visas haven't been issued to our plaintiffs.
Yeah. Мы еще это очень рано об этом говорить. Мы будем настаивать на резервации виз в сентябре, если визы не будут выданы нашим истцам. Let me read some.
There was actually a second question that he had, that Nurillo had. I thought it was about DV 2020 because he mentions Judge Mehta, but I don't think it is, because he mentions May 20th, which is talking about the Jacob case and Judge Chin, which is not DV 2020. But he says, I'm going to transfer my case to another embassy. What embassy can you advise to Uzbekistan citizens? Actually, I want Christina's opinion on this, but I don't think that it's necessary. I would wait until May 20th. If you're a Jacob plaintiff, I would wait until May 20th before you transfer. If you're not a plaintiff, I would still wait. I wouldn't transfer from that embassy because Tashkent is issuing visas, just not the way we like them, right? Didn't you get one this week, Christina?
It's a my special issue, U.S. Embassy in Tashkent. So
yeah, her favorite embassy.
I established very close relationship with the consul U.S. Embassy in Tashkent. В кавычках, in quotation mark. Anyway. So мы вам советуем не переносить пока еще из Ташкента, потому что в Ташкенте выдаются сейчас визы, посольство работает и выдает визы, но, конечно, не в том количестве, которым мы хотели бы, но мы бы советовали вам подождать до 20 мая и потом уже подумать о переводе до решения судьи. And one more question. There was a question about that was confusing. So there is a question about why why it's more preferential to get a decision by MEHTA later. So it's a question from a Jacob plaintiff. So we are not talking about Jacob in this situation. We are talking about MEHTA's decision for Gomez case. That's why it will be more beneficial for Gomez plaintiffs, so DV 2020 plaintiffs, to get later on MEHTA's decision, because the embassy is closed right now. The Moscow embassy is closed. So it doesn't concern our plaintiffs in Jacob, correct?
Yes, and that's my fault for answering a DV 2020 question, because it confused the DV 2021.
Don't confuse DV 2020 and Jacob or DV 2021. It's different.
Right.
Lawsuits different.
And next week we can also have DV 2022s join us.
Right.
And we'll be super confused.
So it will be. Я хочу получить шанс уехать из России. Есть ли у нас шанс? Asking Irina. Irina, you have to have a basis to immigrate to the United States. If you are DV 2021 winner, we are talking about joining. We are trying to make it possible for you to get an interview and get a DV 2021 visa based on your selection. So if you need a consultation with one of us, then you can just contact us by email or WhatsApp or Telegram.
Oh, go on.
No, it's okay. Let's do another question.
Well, someone's asking about when will Turkmenistan embassy open. We don't know. Their website says that they don't know yet. If they don't know, how would we know? Okay, we know that if you're DV 2021, you have barriers already, and if you have an embassy that's closed, that's another barrier, and so that even makes you more in need of judicial interference that a lawsuit would provide. So strongly recommend you participate in our DV 2021 lawsuit.
Okay, we answered to some of the questions. Evgenia, none of the condition applied. Yes, we already answered. Just we will try to get a decision by the court to whether transfer the case or order the embassy to issue the case or reserve the visa for next year, 2020-22. So, but this is too early to discuss it. So Evgenia. Do you see the question? I'm assuming it's about transfer. Okay, there is a question. Hi, what's the difference between a case at NVC and a KCC? Fomunyam Kabila. Let me explain. Let me answer to that question. So the KCC is the part of NVC. It's like a separate department in NVC. So they are technically all working under Department of State. So they are branches of Department of State, which is Ghost Department. So usually all DV cases are processed at KCC. So, but when you check the DV case online, it shows that case is at NVC. So there is no separate. There is a separate department which called KCC. But when you check your immigrant visa, DV immigrant visa on SIAC at NVC, it will show it's the case. It's at NVC. So technically, KCC is a part of NVC. And it's using the same platform for DS-260s, all those forms, but it's just assigned to deal with only DV cases. So that's
right.
my response.
Do you need a translator in here, or can I go?
Huh?
Can I ask a question now?
Yes, of course. Go ahead. I was thinking to translate that in Russian because I answered it.
Okay, go ahead.
It's okay. Go ahead. I think all our Russian speakers
know English. Yeah. So Llama Cross Zone asked, "Dear sir, there's not much time for DV 2021 winners already. Is it not possible to file the case within 31 May 2021, asking to submit application early to participate DV winner? I appreciate the question, and I'm going to give you our reasoning behind the date that we selected. As you know, we filed 3 cases last year, Mohammed, Fong-Jung, and Kennedy. And Mohammed and Fong-Jung, the majority, almost nearly all, but not all, received visas, and the Kennedys, that we're still waiting for the decision that's going to be the vehicle for their visas. What I'm getting at is we know what we're doing. There was a case filed last year in May. Well, it was filed in March, had a hearing in May, and on May 19th, it was called Nguyen versus United States Department of Homeland Security, Nguyen. You can look this on the internet. This is what happened. They went before the judge in May and said, we have irreparable harm. Look at this imminent hardship, da-da-da-da. And Judge Mehta was the judge on this, and he said, no, you don't. Preliminary injunction is denied. So the case stopped. Well, the relief or preliminary injunctive relief stopped because the case was brought too early. You have to give State Department a chance to get the work done before you say it's conclusive that they can't do it. Right now, they could still issue those 55,000 visas if Biden took over the State Department from Trump's minions. It still could get done. So judges are going to want to give the State Department a chance. So you're not going to get an order before July, August, or September. It's just not going to happen.
Okay, let me translate. So вопрос был, будет ли получено какое-то решение. So the question was whether we will win the PI, correct?
The question was, why can't we file the case sooner? Why are we waiting till June 6th?
I got it. So вопрос был в том, почему мы не можем сейчас подать этот иск. В прошлом году мы подали 3 иска. Первый иск был подан в конце июня. Но если вы посмотрите в прошлом году, когда не выдавались визы для DV 2020, был подан иск Nguyen, Nguyen, и Judge Mehta решил, что это было слишком рано, в мае прошлого года, что не было никакого основания для решения preliminary injunction, which is предварительное решение. И он denied the case, и этот кейс не прошел позже, но позже он уже выдал это решение, когда уже было слишком поздно, в сентябре, вы знаете уже. Но в этом году тоже судьи будут ждать и дадут шанс Госдепартаменту выдать визы, и поэтому мы ждем, пока Госдепартамент сможет хотя бы до июня-июля, чтобы они смогли выдать какой-то to process the cases, какие-то действия предпринять, чтобы показать. Но если никаких виз не будет выдано до июня-июля, в этом случае уже судьи будут иметь возможность выдать это решение. So let's move forward, Curtis. Another question.
Mr. Morrison, this is from Never. I'm going to join the new lawsuit. I also ask you this question on WhatsApp, of course. I get several questions duplicated across 4 platforms, and that's why I have to answer them over and over and over to the same person. If we join your lawsuit and you are successful, will your clients be prioritized in KCC, or our KCC will restart processing from the point where they slowed down? What the outcome of the lawsuit depends upon what the judge's order says. or what the State Department does in reaction to us filing the lawsuit, okay? So I can't predict what's going to happen after the order without knowing what the order says. It's possible. I mean, it's likely with this case that the way it would work is our plaintiffs would have priority because this is not a class action, and we're not asking for relief for all DV 2021s. We're just asking for relief for the named plaintiffs in this lawsuit.
What was the, I'm sorry, question?
The question is, if we join the lawsuit, will we be prioritized at KCC? And really, we can't predict.
Yes. So, okay, let me answer that.
We can't predict what the order is going to say.
Correct. So, вопрос был в том, чтобы будут ли новые истцы даны приоритеты новым истцам в новом иске. Мы не можем гадать, как будет решение суда, но мы будем делать все возможное для того, чтобы наши истцы получили приоритет, индивидуальные истцы. It's not a class action, this is individual, это иск для индивидуальных и на персональной основе, для named plaintiff, то есть указанных лиц. Это не будет class action, то есть мы попробуем получить приоритет для всех, кто будет назван, named in this новом иске. So there is one question that was about transfer in unlocking DS-260. I changed my present address to other city. Should I unlock DS2 city and make correction? I still don't receive a request to document scan. So my answer is I already informed that I suggest you to send scans even without request for scans. So just send it as soon as possible, all documents, so they can start the processing. And don't wait for KCC to ask for it. And then if you have any changes on DS-260s that you want to make, so I suggest you to email KCC and unlock your DS-260. But that might take some time. However, if the changes are really minor, you can make those changes at the time of the interview. You don't need to unlock DS-260 unless it's really important, big changes, marriage, birth of child, change of passport. So I will consider all other changes are minors except those major ones. Status of marriage status, status of passport information, and also you can change address if you change. You can ask unlock DS-260 to change the address, but it's not required.
Okay. I see a question from Dimitri. Dimitri, tell us what kind of visa category you are. It would help answer your question. Going back to the question for Sonia. Can you do adjustment of status? Can you enter the U.S. and do adjustment of status? I want everybody to listen to this and not type questions about it anymore. It is not lawful to enter the U.S. on a non-immigrant visa to permanently reside in the U.S. So what you don't want to do is type on the internet, can I do that? Because you have created evidence that you intend to do that. That's just not what you want to do. If you decide once you are in the U.S., after consulting with an attorney, that adjustment of status makes sense with you and you take into account the 90-day rule, that's different. But do not plan to come to the U.S. and adjust status and do it publicly. That's not a good idea.
Okay, so let me translate that. This wants me, so everyone to understand what he will say about adjustment of status. So, это неправомерно въезжать в страну под туристической визе и потом подавать it's illegal. So, и подавать на adjustment of status в стране. Если вы уже в стране и у вас виза card, тогда обращайтесь к адвокатам, и мы на индивидуальной основе решим, как вам лучше будет подавать на adjustment of status. Возможность будет подавать на adjustment of status. Но если вы не в стране, мы не имеем права вам советовать въезжать в страну по туристической визе и потом подавать на adjustment of status. Это не легально, это неправильно, и мы не имеем права это вам советовать, потому что там вы не имеете права въезжать в страну с намерением intent to remain permanently, как по туристической, потому что вы должны иметь намерение только оставаться здесь на какое-то время, которое вы указали в своей туристической анкете. То есть, если вы в стране, в Америке, пожалуйста, обращайтесь к нам по этому вопросу. И вы должны, там еще есть вопрос о 90 днях, которые вы должны провести в Америке после подачи adjustment of status, после въезда в страну. Пожалуйста, мы не можем вам отвечать, если вы не в стране, на этот вопрос. Okay. So let's move to another one.
A general one that's not being asked, if I signed up for the wait list, am I automatically on the lawsuit, the next lawsuit? The answer is no.
Okay, so this is very важный вопрос. Если вы на wait-листе, вы автоматически являетесь истцом, so да, ответ нет. Вы не истец, пока вы не подали новый вопросник для иска. Okay, let's move forward.
Okay. Never has a question about what you just said about sending the docs, even though without getting an email from them. We understand what it says on the website, Never. But if you don't get your docs to them soon, they're not going to have time to approve them before September 30th. So I think every immigration professional I know is advising people send the docs even though they have not requested them. Is that what you think, Christina, on KCC and DV 2021?
Yes, I am advising clients to send scans because I don't think they will request them in the future, and then eventually they can just say you didn't send us any document. How we can?
You can't be punished. There's no law that says.
No, nothing says that you just don't send, or otherwise we will disqualify you.
Right, you have nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose. Если вы отправите ваши сканы even до того, как KCC, вы ничего не теряете, там никакого prejudice, ничего нет против вас, которое по закону не разрешало вам отправить эти документы до того, как они попросят. Поэтому я предлагаю всем вам отправить документы even до того, как они были запрошены в KCC. What about Tashkent Embassy, sir? We already answered. Добрый день, спасибо. Okay, yes. There is a question in Russian, Lucine. Добрый, подскажите, пожалуйста, разрешение на проживание в течение года в другой стране. She has a residence permit in another country for 1 year, and she's asking whether that will be a basis for transfer. Yes, the answer is yes. If you are a resident and you have a right to reside in that country, in other country except Russia, then this is the basis for request for transfer. And
I would say that in Russian too, because that's important.
So, если у вас есть разрешение на проживание в другой стране, то это основание для перевода кейса из России в другую страну. Вот ответ на ваш вопрос на русском. Okay,
Do you recommend that they attach the evidence? Yes.
Вы должны направить им доказательства, что у вас есть разрешение на проживание в другой стране, и еще и еще адрес. So they have to provide both the address in new country and evidence that they have a right to reside in that country. So два requirement, адрес и разрешение на проживание. So let's.
I see this question. Can we try to transfer ourselves, or will your office do it for you? First of all, you can try to do it yourself, but make it like short, 2 sentences. Please transfer me from this embassy to that embassy. Dear KCC, please transfer me from this embassy to this embassy because it's more convenient. Here's my evidence attached. That's it. Okay.
An address, Curtis. They need an address. They specifically
right.
We have to have an address in other country.
Just don't write an essay, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Right. So yeah.
Short.
Don't have time to read those essays. Big.
But if you're a Jacob plaintiff or a young plaintiff,
we will.
And we've already assigned a paralegal to help you, then that paralegal can assist you with that transfer if you want them to handle it. For the new case, we don't have the paralegals assigned yet, and we will not until June. So if you want to try to transfer your case till June or July, maybe, if you want to try to transfer your case in the interim on your own, feel free.
Okay, there is a question about embassy from Karina from embassy in Latvia. So she's asking, there is a letter from U.S. Embassy in Latvia that they are not going to provide interviews for DV 2021. Can we, how we can help her in that situation? Let me check the U.S. Embassy in Latvia. Honestly, I don't know. Do you know? We had an interview scheduled for immigrant visa, for family-based immigrant visa in Latvia.
I want to clarify something. The State Department lies. I know that's hard. That's difficult when you want to come to America and you think America is great. The government still lies, just like every other government. So sometimes they will say something on an embassy website that's not actually the truth, and they will not take into account pending litigation. The biggest example right now is for DV 2020. All State Department websites say DV 2020 is over, yet there's pending litigation that involves 9,095 visas before Judge Mehta in the Gomez and consolidated cases. And the State Department's websites all say that doesn't exist. So don't automatically trust the State Department just because they have something on their website. I hate to say that. I wish our government would.
According, I'm just checking U.S. Embassy website in Riga, in Latvia. So it says that they are providing limited capacity immigrant visa services, fiancé and U.S. citizens, and they are not yet providing services for DV visa applicants. So they might resume services, and but they are not yet providing. So we don't know when they will start providing visas in Latvia. There is another issue. Since Latvia is part of Schengen, there is a proclamation affecting like residents in Schengen area. However, Curtis, we can talk about that exception to proclamation, regional proclamation. If you are an immigrant visa holder, you are not subject as an exception to proclamation to 14-day rule. you don't need to remain outside of Schengen area for 14 days to travel to United States. So do you want to add something?
Yeah, that's an example of the State Department not being truthful. That 14-day restriction does not supposed to exist, but we find that embassies are not necessarily setting interviews, even though that it does not. It's supposed to not exist for immigrant applications.
Okay, so let me translate what I and Curtis said in Russian for Russian speakers. And посольство в шенгенских эриях не выдает DV визы, пока еще не выдают согласно их указаниям в их веб-сайте, но мы не знаем, когда они начнут выдавать DV 2021 визы в Риге, но я хочу сказать, что так как Латвия is part of Schengen countries agreement, она региональная прокламация, которая распространяется на все Шенген страны, распространяется на Латвию тоже. Хотя в последнее время было Байден выдал exception, то есть исключение из правила для тех, у кого иммиграционные визы. То есть если вы получите DV 2021, и вы из шенгенской зоны, тогда вы не должны оставаться 14 дней outside of Schengen зоны, если вы выезжаете в страну, в Америку. То есть, если у вас есть иммиграционная виза, а DV 2021 считается иммиграционной визой, тогда вы можете въехать в Америку, как только вы получите визу. So that was the question about the Schengen zone visas and regional proclamation and exception to regional proclamations.
Right.
There is a question: how many people have already joined the big lawsuit? We have to ask Amir.
No, I just checked. 1,216 families have signed up for the big lawsuit. But it's only been 2 days. We've got 28 more days.
В течение 2 дней мы имеем уже 1600 с чем-то человек в новом большом кейсе, и у нас еще 28 дней есть. Okay, what? Go ahead, versus.
I see a DV 2020 Kennedy plaintiff saying that's at Moscow. Should my case be transferred to Almaty? You can't do anything with the DV 2020 application right now. KCC or an embassy will not talk to a DV 2020 selectee or to us about your application. So you'll have to wait until final judgment to know what the options are. Actually, you'll have to wait until the State Department interprets and implements the judge's order. So that's in the future, and we could talk about that then. We don't know the answer now.
About DV 2020, correct? That was about 2020.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a good question. It's just we don't have the answer now, and that is what do Moscow DV 2020 selectees do after Judge Mehta's order?
Okay. So,
depends on what the order says.
Yeah, мы не можем сейчас сказать, это будет зависеть от того, как будет решение выглядеть судьи Мехта, и после этого только мы можем сказать, как будет происходить интервью в Москве после решения. Это будет зависеть от имплементации этого решения Госдепартаментом. То есть они должны будут давать указания посольствам, как выдавать визы по решению судьи Мехта. То есть это вопрос, который мы сейчас на данном этапе не можем ответить. Okay, let's go to, this is one from Novel Khachatourian, he's probably from Armenia. he's going to join a lawsuit. I'm also questioning what's up. If you join our lawsuit and you are successful, will your clients be prioritized in KCC, or KCC will restart processing from the point where they slowed down? Okay, so this is interesting question, Curtis. What do you think?
Yeah, I saw that when he asked it before. Depends on what the order says. I mean, we can't predict what an order says. A lot of questions are natural questions. They make sense. But if you're asking us to interpret an order that hasn't happened yet, we can't do that because we don't know what the order is. When you file a motion, it's not a yes/no answer. The judge's relief that he grants is going to be custom to what the vision for that judge, for what he or her, what they want to see. So we can't tell you what that means until it happens.
And can I add one more thing based on our prior experience in Gomez case? There was a prioritization for named plaintiffs, correct? In Mohammed, Fonjong, yeah. All our plaintiffs, initial plaintiffs, they almost all of them who qualified, they got visas.
And that's what the new case, that's what we hope for.
Okay, so that's what we're going to argue the same in our new lawsuit.
To get the visas, yeah.
Get the visas for named plaintiffs, so they will technically will get priority over others. So let me translate that in Russian
and Armenian.
Oh, you want in Armenian? Okay. So I will specifically for my Armenian
plaintiff.
Co-plaintiff, yeah, plaintiffs will translate in Armenian. So, so if based on our last, потому что у нас есть experience в прошлом году, все наши истцы в Фонджонге и Мохаммеде почти, которые были квалифицированы получить визы, получили визы, и у них был приоритет перед другими DV selectees. So, в этом случае у нас тут новый иск будет иметь такие же легальные, the same, asking the same relief, то есть мы будем просить то же, что и мы просили в прошлом году от судьи. Но, естественно, решение будет зависеть от судьи, но, как и в прошлом году, истцам было дано приоритет по решению судьи в прошлом году. И это не зависело от визы числа их визы. То есть у нас были истцы в 49 тысяч с номером 49 тысяч, и они получили визы, потому что были они истцами. So I'm just reminding that that prioritization last year wasn't based on the visa case numbers, correct? It was just because they were plaintiffs, they were issued visa, and even if we had plaintiffs with 49,000 case number and they got a visa just because they were lawsuit.
And last year, some people with some extremely high case numbers got visas because the DV lottery is not working as it traditionally worked, and that's why it was difficult to predict what was going to happen last year, and it's difficult to predict what's going to happen this year because usually we looked at what happened in prior years. But this is different because everybody's going to be current in July. That last year was the last year that happened, and before then that didn't happen.
Мы можем сказать просто на основании того, что было в прошлом году, на основании наших знаний и экспириенса в этой сфере. В прошлом году наши истцы с большими номерами получили визы, и в этом году мы будем стараться получить то же самое решение для всех тех, которые и получить приоритет для всех наших участников. То есть у нас есть основания для таких утверждений из нашего опыта в прошлом году. И в этом году мы будем подавать тот же иск на тех же основаниях, правовых основаниях, что и в прошлом году. Что еще? And let me translate in Armenian for my Armenian compatriots. So, բարևձեզ, բոլորին շնորհակալություն, որ նայում հայերենով, հայերին, շատ ուրախ եմ, որ դուք միացել եք։ Ես ուզում եմ ասեմ, որ մենք անցած տարի հիմք ունենք եւ փորձ ունենք, որ կարող ենք ասել պնդել, որ մենք կարող ենք այս տարի էլ շահենք, քանի որ անցած տարի 50-49,000 վիզա համարներով մարդիկ կային, որոնք մեր հայցվորները, որոնք ստացան վիզա, մենք հույս ունենք այս տարի էլ ստանանք նույն վիզաները նոր հայցով եւ փորձենք ստանանք prioritet այդ մարդկանց համար նույնիսկ բարձր վիզա համարներով։ Շնորհակալություն, որ միանաք մեր հայցին, շնորհակալություն եմ հայտնում, 2 հոգի ունենք, որ հայերեն են խոսում, կարող եք դիմեք հայերենով, կփորձենք ձեզ պատասխանենք հայերենով, շնորհակալություն։ So let's do another question in English.
Okay. Yeah, are you getting tired of talking?
No, I'm talking all day and texting and
No.
that's my job. I am. But
Okay.
it's hard to translate back and forth. It's like
I know. This one's in English. Nikita asks, can you please repeat? What are you going to do with Russian DV winners? Will it be transfer or we have to wait Moscow embassy? Nikita has not indicated whether or not we're talking about DV 2020 or DV 2021. And the answer is slightly different depending on which category. I'm going to assume DV 2021 because that's the purpose of this Facebook Live. So we will not have relief on the new case before July. That will not happen. We're onboarding in May. We file it June 6th. We hope to have a hearing on our preliminary injunction motion in July. So we will not have relief before July from the order. We may be able to get some of you interviewed before then, but we will not have a judge's order that will give us the leverage we need to get the bulk number of plaintiffs' interviews. So you're asking a question about what we're going to do in July when we don't know the state on what's happening on the ground in July. By then, maybe Moscow will be resuming services, or maybe the State Department would have stopped all services. I mean, we really have to wait until then, until we have more information. But we have, Christina supervises our team of paralegals, and they will be fighting to get you all interviews and to get you issued visas, because that's what we do, okay? How we will do that, we will enter our appearance with KCC and the embassies, and we will remind the embassy that you're ready for an interview. And if there's a problem, we will help you with the embassy and KCC to solve the problem. Yeah, I think that answers the question.
Okay, so вопрос был, что будет с DV 2021, которые должны были пройти в Москве. So у нас мы не можем сейчас сказать, что будет, потому что может все поменяться в июле. Может посольство откроется в июле, в июне Госдепартамент, может быть, типа, меняет свою позицию в отношении России. Никто не знает. И, может быть, все посольства закроются. Как в прошлом году почти все посольства были закрыты в июле, в июне, в августе. То есть мы на данном этапе не можем гадать, что будет, что произойдет в июле, но у нас есть группа паралегалов, которые работают с каждым из ваших, с каждым из наших истцов, и я, как адвокат, я регулирую их работу, если у них есть какие-то вопросы, они обращаются ко мне с вопросами, и я уже отвечаю как адвокат им. Я контролирую их работу как адвокат. Так что, если у вас есть какие-то будут вопросы, обращайтесь к вашему паралегалу, и они уже, если будут не уверены в ответе, они уже будут обращаться к нам, ко мне или к Куртису. Okay, let's do another question.
I see some questions coming in, I think in Nepali. Beautiful script. And we will be having a Facebook Live in Nepali eventually. Stay tuned. We'll schedule that. But me or Christina don't know Nepali.
Okay, so we don't speak Nepali, sorry. Sonia.
We have a team member that does.
Yeah, we have we have a very nice guy who speaks Nepalese. Deep in his name. So Sonia Garibian is asking whether the embassy, she knows that the embassy in Armenia is open, however, they are very slow, and can we get a court order asking to embassy to work faster? So technically that's the question. Yes, if we get a court order, then the embassy will be ordered by court to adjudicate those cases. So, correct, Curtis? So,
yeah,
that will force them to work actively.
But clarify that court orders are not directed at a specific embassy. They're directed at the State Department as a whole.
Yes,
right?
and State Department will oversee work of the embassy, particular embassy. So let me translate in Russian. So yes, if we get если мы получим решение суда, то судья может обязать Госдепартамент работать активнее, как вы, или быстрее, и решить и выдать визы всем истцам. То есть судебное решение не будет по какому-то специальному посольству, оно будет направлено на Госдепартамент, а уже Госдепартамент уже будет контролировать работу посольств. Okay, let's move to another one. It's already.
Yeah, let's do one more.
And it's, I think, already.
Ever's question is great. Dear Curtis, dear Christina, what if I join your lawsuit and immediately I get an email from embassy that my case is regularly scheduled for an interview? That would be phenomenal. He's put without your lawsuit. That may not be true. The State Department is not stupid. They know that if they can impress a judge by showing him that plaintiffs have been issued visas when the judge is looking at those plaintiffs as metrics to see if the State Department is doing their job, that they've got a better chance at winning and not getting in trouble with the judge, right? So if you're scheduled for an interview and you're part of a lawsuit, it's very likely that those things are correlated, okay? So can I, at least in this case, use your other assistants? Will you still be, I have to click on this, taking care of my case if needed? Yes, yes. We may not have a paralegal assigned to you at that point, and so we will assign you someone special if you have a problem, okay? If you have a problem. If there's no problem, there's really nothing that you need us to do, right? If you said it's regularly scheduled and you get them everything and you show up for the interview and they give you the visa, you don't need us. You only need us if there's really, if there's a problem or a question, okay? And so you can bring those to our attention. Because once you sign this retainer agreement and you hire us, we will represent you, okay? We will take care of you.
Okay, so let me translate. That's very good answer. Let me translate in Russian. So the question, вопрос был в том, что если мы подадим иск, и если будет возможность, если мы можем обращаться к вам, или мы должны обращаться к паралегалам, которые будут назначены на ваш кейс. Естественно, вы можете обращаться к нам, если у вас есть проблема или какой-то специфический вопрос, который не могут быть решен паралегалами. В этом случае, да, вы можете, естественно, обращаться к нам, и мы попробуем решить все вопросы. Но как только мы подадим иск, мы будем представлять ваши интересы в KCC как адвокаты, и мы будем писать им все письма от нашего имени как адвокатов. Это или будет Рафаэл, или Куртис, или Кристина, не имеет значения, но мы будем представлять ваши интересы, и уже паралегалы, работающие на адвокатов, будут решать конкретные ваши вопросы и задачи. Пишу на обоих языках. One more question was regarding Toronto. I saw she was asking whether she has to unlock the DV right now when she is going to transfer, or she can make changes later. So you can transfer right now and not unlock your DS, but you at the same time, the first thing you have to get the transfer done, and only then you can unlock or you can update your address at the time of the interview. So it's irrelevant when you unlock or not unlock DS-260. The main issue is to get the case assigned to another embassy by KCC. And at that point, when the case is at KCC, it's easier to transfer to another embassy than to transfer it after it's assigned to specific embassy. So,
Christina, we need to eat lunch.
Yeah, we need lunch, and we are tired, and we will
Yes.
be happy to answer all your questions if you email or text us.
Yeah, and then this video has been recorded, I think, and I think we're going to be able to get it on the YouTube channel. So thank you, everybody. До свидания.
До свидания. Okay, stay tuned. До свидания. Thank you for your time and joining us. If you have any questions, если у вас есть вопросы, пишите нам на WhatsApp. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Curtis. Have a nice day.
Hi, this is Curtis Morrison. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Thank you.